Hi guys, and welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna be walking the Freedom Trail. And this is the road that we're gonna take into Boston, where the Freedom Trail is located. And we usually take the same road every single time, so we'd always go through this bridge, and then we go into a tunnel. This is the tunnel. And then that leads us out into a very vibrant city structure place.
To merge onto Purchase Street, then turn right onto Summer Street.
Voila! Boston for you guys. Here it is. Finding available parking spaces sometimes can be challenging in downtown Boston, especially during weekends or holidays. And parking is expensive in the city. You may spend $30 or even $40 for parking just a couple of hours. We were lucky to find a spot pretty quick, and the man who worked in the parking lot liked winter a lot, and he even played a while with our dog. Our original plan was to finish walking the Freedom Trail, and since we brought Winter with us, we also walked the dog at the same time. My mom promised me that I could have ice cream in 3 different locations of my choice while walking on the trail. And to be honest, I was more excited for ice cream than walking the trail itself. However, things didn't go as we had planned, so stay tuned to see what happened. Winter was very confused the whole time. Clearly, she was not a city girl. You see, I was very scared of running into that guy on the skateboard because Winter saw another dog and she just drove crazy. And the city can be dangerous since there are so many people and they are all moving around in different directions. There's a subway station right in front of the Boston Common, so you can easily get there by metro. Do you guys see that line of red tiles? That is a guideline for us to walk the entire Freedom Trail. Theoretically, to walk the trail, all we need to do is follow that red line, and we don't even bother to have maps. But to be honest, I found it pretty easy to lose sight of it and get lost. This is our starting point as shown on the map. This is where the Freedom Trail starts, the Boston Common, which is a public park. And this small building you see is the information center of the park. Inside the information center, there are some shelves for you to pick up free maps and travel guides for the city. And secondly, we arrived at the Massachusetts State House. But before that, Winter was really thirsty, so we decided to get her some water. Another puppy tailed behind us, and the two of them really wanted to have a lovely interaction, but we decided not to let the dog do so. We met this other family who also had a Labrador, and they came up to say hi.
You have a lab too? Okay.
Winter, say bye. Bye. Then we arrived at the steakhouse, and it overlooks the Boston Common. It is the seat of Massachusetts government, which is not strictly a state, but a commonwealth.
Let's go, Winter!
During the pandemic, we trained Winter to sit and wait for a while when she sees other dogs, because we're not sure if the dog's owners feel comfortable to have Winter play with their dogs. So in the footage, you may notice that sometimes Winter sits and waits to play with other dogs. She is so sweet.
Winter, come! Good girl!
Oh, even more doggo. Many doggo. So many doggo. Such beautiful scenery in Boston. Blue skies and chirping birds. And there we go, following the red line again towards our next stop. Park Street Church. Oops. It's called the Park Street Church. In fact, the first speech against slavery was delivered here in 1829. Next up is my favorite stop. Right beside the Park Street Church is the Granary burying ground. It is the final resting place for many notable Revolutionary War era patriots, including Paul Revere, the 5 victims of the Boston Massacre, and 3 signers of the Declaration of Independence, Samuel Adams, John Hancock, and Robert Treat Paine. The cemetery has 2,345 grave markers, but historians estimate that it has as many as 5,000 people buried. Now we're at the King's Chapel. It was established in 1686 as the first Anglican congregation in New England. At the time, it was also the first state-sanctioned non-Puritan church in Boston, as the city has been predominantly Puritan. You see that rainbow flag? It is known as the LGBTQ flag, and many churches hang the flag to send messages of inclusivity. After that, we went to School Street, which is the first public school, Boston Latin School, and the statue of Benjamin Franklin. The statue of a donkey, sometimes called the Democratic donkey, is installed in its yard. The donkey and elephant are widely known as symbols of the Democratic and Republican parties in the U.S. After that, we went to the Old South Meeting Ground. Meeting house, not ground. And it was a church that was built in 1729 and was mainly used for political meetings. Indeed, most political events of the Revolution took place here. After reaching there, I got really hungry, so I made my mom go get me a little chicken skewer at 7-Eleven and a drink, dragon fruit refresher and Dunkin' Donuts. Yippee! And Winter really likes chasing birds. She even caught a dead one once. Like, not really. She just snatched it off in the backyard, and dead rabbits too. I'm not sure if you guys wanted to know that detail. Anyways, after that, we arrived at the Old State House. It is the oldest building in Boston. It was actually built in 1713. A merchant's exchange was on the ground floor. And on the upper floor was political center where the Assembly of Massachusetts met. Now, it's located on a busy street with a metro entrance/exit. Then we reached the Faneuil Hall, or Faneuil House as some call it, and the building was built in 1742. Both a market and a place of meeting. Here began the Revolution with patriotic speeches delivered by Samuel Adams and James Otis. And here began the hunger of my father. I have a complaint to make. My father said that he was hungry, he didn't want to walk anymore, he wanted to go get some boba tea and some food at the delivery, so we weren't even able to finish the basic 5 miles of the Freedom Trail before walking back. That marks the end of our Freedom Trail trip. Next time, I'm definitely not bringing my dad with me because the best place for him is definitely in Chinatown eating all the food he wants. And my mom still owes me 3 ice creams, so I say that we'll have to come back once the pandemic is over and it gets warmer, so ice creams. Anyways, bye guys, and thanks for watching.